This is going to be the video explanation for option number 1, which has water splotches on it. So you're going to start out this one by tracing random circles on your page. Space them out evenly, use different sizes, and then you're going to outline them in Sharpie. Find random things that are circular around the room and trace them so that you have actually nice circles um, instead of just random blobs on your page. So you see they're evenly spaced. I don't have a lot clustered on one size. It shows balance. I have larger ones evenly distributed. This is something like I want to see, but obviously don't copy exactly what I do. Once you have that, you're going to be adding the watercolor drips. So one thing you can do is you can add little splotches of watercolor on your page, use gravity to your advantage, hold up the paper and have the watercolor drip. Another thing you can do is you can put blobs of watercolor on your page and use a straw to blow the colors across the page, or you can randomly add them. As long as it has that dripping effect, doesn't really matter how you get it. You can use a combination of the two. You put more watercolor on your paper than normal, so you use a little bit more water. That will cause them to drip. This one is really cool because it has more like organic and just more random. It has less control for you, but it ends up looking cooler in the end. You can see that a lot of this space is full. I wish on this one that I had more watercolor going off of the page, but this still fills the space pretty well. So you want to fill the space with at least 2/3 of the color. Um, 2/3 of the page must be full. After you have that, you're going to let it dry. I traced over my circles with Sharpie here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to close your eyes and you're going to add random wavy lines. This is meant to add more whimsy and more fun to it, a little bit more randomness. They should be continuous. So continuous means you're moving your hand across your page with your eyes closed and not lifting up the pen. Flowing, not jagged. You don't want that many sharp points here. If you add some loops in, so if you add some little loop-de-loops, it'll create a more neurological feeling and it will help you more with this next step. So you're going to be rounding out the edges. So here are some examples of what that looks like. But you're going to be taking your pen and just rounding out the edges, making sure that none of them are really sharp anymore. It just creates a more connected feeling to all of them. You're going to do this to any corner that is on your page. You're going to round it out. For this, I mentioned in here, use a normal Sharpie. A thin point Sharpie would probably be best if you have more lines. So if you're looking at this and you're like, my page does not seem full, after you go out and round your edges, you can always go back, add more continuous lines like you did here, and then round out those edges again. So then what you're going to do is add finer details. So this is where I want you using a thin point Sharpie or a fine liner marker. And you can add random lines to it. I added random lines just to add some more texture to it. You could add some tinier sections, fill some spaces in. You can also use like the alcohol markers to add some different colors to it. I went and I traced along every single one of those little blobs that I made on my page to add a little bit more variety to it. You can see the space is full, has a nice mixture of lines and circles and colors. It just seems very full and very complete. So that is going to be the goal with this one. So at this point, it's more a little bit of creative freedom. Do what you want, but still make it look neat and take your time on this.